years ago, I made this video. Not only did it showcase how I filmed videos in VRCHAT, but it also discussed the various tools that I used, the hardware that powers, well, this entire thing, and offered some useful tips, tricks, and resources to expand your content creation palette. Since then, a lot has changed on how I film here in VRCHAT, so why not make an updated video? Welcome to this epic and awesome tutorial on how to film VRCHAT videos like me! But part 2? Round 2? Update? Whatever, the title's in a work in progress, okay? You can utilize YouTube's chapter system to find specific sections that might interest you more. Well, that is if you're a weirdo who skips around the video on the first watch. You sick freak. Oh, also to keep this video's length more manageable, there's gonna be a completely separate video from my editor, who definitely doesn't sound like me, by the way. Anyways, he'll go more in depth on some of the common editing tricks that are used in my videos, so. And with that, let's begin! My controller died. Hey, speaking of hardware. One of these days I'll stop doing that transition. To get glorious recordings within VRCHAT, you need a decent PC. And before you go and say anything, yes, I know, you can record using your Quest and all, ooh, yippee, but that looks poopy. And we here at Fliptrip LLC United, trademarked, we don't deal with poopy here. Okay, maybe we do sometimes, but not Quest poopy, okay? Let's be honest. Anyways, here's my current PC specs, and before you ask, no, they haven't changed at all since the last time I did a video about VRCHAT filming. In fact, they haven't changed at all in the last 5-ish years. However, this should go to show that 5-year-old hardware still works fantastically when it comes to recording 1440p VRCHAT videos. Hell, I could probably record 4K videos if I wanted to, but I just choose to keep my recordings to my main monitor's resolution, since that was a limitation back in the day. Okay, and how about the rest of my hardware? For VR headsets, 99% of the time, I'm filming using my Quest Pro connected to my PC wirelessly, since it allows me to use face tracking. Quite frankly, I view face tracking as a must-have in videos now. However, in the rare 1% chance I need to either do something incredibly dumb or physically intensive in VR, like say for instance climbing Mount Everest while on a walking pad that you can't see. Yeah, then I'll use my Valve Index. For controllers, I use a pair of Index controllers. For trackers, I have one Tundra tracker that's right on top of my Quest Pro, and 3 3.0 Vive trackers for full body tracking. Of course, I have a lot more trackers just lying around, but quite frankly, I find it a pain in the ass to set it up for 11-point full body tracking. And finally, for the microphone, I use either the one I'm using right now, which is an Antline wireless mod mic, or my Elgato Wave 3. Now, of course, I can't end this segment without saying this. You don't need all of this to start making videos in VRCHAT. Hell, you technically don't even need a PC, as you can play VRCHAT on any mobile device and just screen record that if you want to. Don't do that, by the way. That sounds horrible. However, if you're starting from absolutely nothing, then my advice from 2 years ago remains the same. Buy a VR-ready PC first before worrying about what headset you're going to get or how you're going to start recording VRCHAT at all. Speaking of which, if you're looking into building a PC for yourself or want to know what to look for when looking at pre-builts at least, then I will once again refer you to Tupper's wonderful and cool and epic best PC guide for VRCHAT. Although prices may vary now due to world events and the RAM drought that we're currently in. Thanks, AI. And finally, if you want to optimize your PC, your tracking, and more, Echo, who does a bunch of face tracking assets, has provided a wonderful Google Doc filled with a bunch of hardware optimization tips that I pretty much use every single time. Both of these guides will be linked down below in the description. So, with that, let's talk about software. let's start with the most important one, and that is my recording software. I use OBS like every normal person out there. Every video is recorded in a landscape format with my canvas set to 2560 by 1440, and yes, that includes all of my vertical videos as well. As for the rest of the settings, well, here they are. If you're aiming to copy my settings, then something to note is that depending on either your GPU or what software you're using to edit on, you may need to downgrade your video encoder to H.264 or utilize your CPU instead of your GPU. If none of that makes sense to you, or you want to read more on what settings to choose if you have an NVIDIA card at least, then you can check out this guide that NVIDIA put out, which goes into great detail about OBS and recording. And if you have an AMD card, well, best of luck to you, because I have absolutely no idea. One more thing before we move on from OBS, and that's the Sprout plugin. VRCHAT implemented a Sprout toggle directly on the VRCHAT camera, which then beams directly to your OBS scene without adding any extra strain on your CPU from re-recording a game window. There's a lot more to Sprout and Sprout 2 and blah blah blah, but the moral of the story is I use Sprout to capture my VRCHAT camera, and I think you should as well. You may have noticed in my OBS window that I have multiple audio tracks. That's because I split my audio using the software that came with my Elgato Wave 3 mic called Wavelink. Compared to virtual audio cable and voice meter, Elgato made a program that makes it very easy to split your audio, and it has basically become essential for all my recording sessions, especially when I make music videos. Sorry to ruin your immersion, but that's not me actually lip syncing or singing in all of those music videos that I've ever made. It's actually me blaring music through my mic and my avatar's Visines doing all of the work. As of now, in order to access Wavelink 2.0, you need to own an Elgato audio-oriented product. However, Elgato recently announced that version 3.0 will be available to everyone, regardless of what microphone you use. So, when 3.0 comes out, then I highly suggest people to use it, regardless of whether you are recording or not. I just personally think organizing your audio is a great thing, and Elgato has honestly done a great job at letting you do that very easily. Elgato, please sponsor me. Oh, do you hear that? That means it's time to speedrun all of the VR apps and assets I use, because if I don't, then this video is going to get too long. So here we go! I use OVR advanced settings, which honestly, it's pretty much essential to VR. So get it, please. Next is VRCHAT for face tracking. Virtual desktop and space calibrated to combine my Quest Pro with my base stations, trackers, what have you. Standable to mimic 11-point tracking when I feel like it. Excess overlay to read scripts like I'm doing right now. And finally, VRC lens. However, for the past year, I've been mostly just using the default VRCHAT camera, especially since I have VRCHAT Plus to utilize the dolly system. Plus, I can use the default camera on any avatar I want, so it makes filming less of a hassle. And finally, my editing software. My editor and I use the entire Adobe suite as it's just what we're used to. However, like I said earlier, my editor will go into way more detail about everything on his own video that will be linked at the end. For now, these are my export settings for TikTok. I try to keep the file size as low as I can, so I'll lower the bitrate or FPS if I need to. As for YouTube videos like this one, I usually just match my source or what I recorded the video with. If you're looking for a free alternative to Adobe, then DaVinci Resolve is your best option. I used to recommend CapCut since that was the easiest editing software to use, especially for TikTok. However, sometime this year, they changed their terms of service to basically say they own anything you upload to their platform. It's probably a blanket legal term to justify using your videos to train AI, but the wording also implies that they can also use your likeness for ads and other things without direct consent. Whatever, just use whatever or use something else, or continue using CapCut if you've been using CapCut. I don't care, I don't control you, so it's whatever. Okay, enough about all the crap I use to make things. Let's talk about my process. Ignore the, random DJ equipment that is here. I don't DJ. Okay, filming process. Let's start with TikTok videos. For TikTok videos, if it's a popular sound, then I'll usually download the sound using websites like Snaptic, then hop on VRCHAT to record whatever idea I had. It's kind of that simple. Sometimes I make edits to songs or sounds to make the loops more satisfying, like the Les Seraphim song that I did earlier this year. I'm sure I said that wrong, but or the ice cream edit that will eventually come out, ideally by the end of the year. But probably not gonna happen. Anyways, once the video is done being edited, then I'll usually render a mute version for TikTok and then use the TikTok app to add the sound on there instead. This allows TikTok to properly categorize my video under the correct sound I'm trying to use instead of TikTok making my own sound, which it's a very annoying feature. Other than that, when I'm uploading onto TikTok or Instagram Reels or any other short website, I try to make sure that I check that I want my video to be in high quality. Honestly, I don't know why both Instagram Reels and TikTok don't have this enabled by default, but whatever, maybe they're saving on, I don't know, bandwidth or storage or something. I don't know. Now, for YouTube videos or videos where I yap too much, the process is a tad more involved. To start, I write a whole outline to organize all of my thoughts and come up with a flow that's both easy to write and easy to digest as a viewer. After that, I get to writing the script. I hated writing essays in school, and quite frankly, every time I write out a script, it takes me back to the times where I'm spending all night writing and staving away an essay that's due tomorrow. Oh god. Anyways, my scripts go through a few revisions as I try to cut down on unnecessary stuff or change some jokes. I also partake in the ancient Chinese secret of just sleeping and then reviewing the script the next day to make sure I still agree with everything that I wrote. Something that I wish high school and college me would have did. Okay, so after writing the script and revising it and everything, it's time to record. Compared to recording TikTok videos where I usually do those in one go, I usually split up my script into multiple recording sessions so that I don't sound and look dead by the time I reach the end of the video. Other than that, I film everything I need to, send it off to the hells of Premiere Pro, and then once that's done, render it and upload it to YouTube or YouTube. I don't upload any other yap videos to anywhere else, so. Okay, that's, well, my entire updated process. From hardware that's responsible for everything to the software that's keeping me on life support. All of this is my entire VRCHAT video making process. So with that, let's talk some tips and tricks. Okay, first tip, and it's my biggest pet peeve with VRCHAT content creators, and that's lighting. There are so many times when a VRCHAT video comes up on my For You page on TikTok or my recommended on YouTube, and the person is using an avatar that has a overall darker color palette, you know, like those edgy emo avies that a lot of people have. And for some reason with that avatar, they're filming in the darkest world possible. Why? In a game where you have full control of your environment and how you look, why are you filming videos in the worst possible lighting imaginable? If you insist on using an avatar with an overall darker appearance, then at the bare minimum, you either adjust the brightness of your video in post, use various avatar lighting systems that are found on both Gumroad and Booth, or simply just use a different world altogether, ideally a much brighter world. This concept also applies to green screen footage. If you're trying to green screen yourself into a scene, why not just film the green screen footage in the same world that you're at? The VRCHAT camera allows you to do both a green screen and a blue screen right on the spot, so instead of having off-lighting green screen footage and giving yourself a headache later on when you're in post, just film the green screen stuff in the same world. Cool? Cool. Next up is apply filmmaking techniques to your videos. This is a thing I tell everyone because if you do anything unique for your VRCHAT video, then your video is already way more interesting than a majority of VRCHAT videos that are out there in the stratosphere. I mentioned this website before, but once again, if you're looking for inspiration or ideas, then iCandy is a great tool to browse hundreds of different real film shots. Not only can you get an idea of what you want to use, but they also have the name of the type of shot it is. is. So you can easily Google how to do that kind of shot and try to apply that same logic to VRChat. Let's do an example that a lot of VRChat users have already done when the dolly system came out, and that's the dolly zoom. The dolly zoom, or the severance effect as some weirdos call it, is a very popular effect that showcases moments of realization or terrifying situations. Thankfully, there's a variety of different ways that we can accomplish this in VRChat. First is doing it manually. Simply point the camera at your subject and walk towards them, and at the same time zoom out at the same rate as you're walking towards them. Now what if you hit the zoom on the VRChat camera, or you're by yourself like me? I shouldn't be smiling. Well, you can either use the flying camera version on the VRChat camera or VRC lens to slowly move towards or away from you. Then later you can apply the zoom in post. Just keep in mind though, if you do it this way, just account for your resolution, as that's what you're going to be bound to. Or simply put, if you have VRChat Plus, then just use the dolly. Set 2 points in a straight line, one away from your subject and the second point in front of your subject. On the first point, set your zoom to wherever you want it, and then on the second point, set your zoom to 0. Finally, make sure to check in your dolly settings that you want it to loop between these points. When you think it's all good, then press play, and congrats! You have a looping dolly zoom like some of the GIFs and videos on Twitter that are out there. In my previous talk about my filming process, I showcased how I created a snorri cam in VRChat, so you can check that out if you're curious about that. Honestly, I should just do a video explaining how to do a bunch of these effects in VRChat. Anyways, this video has gone on long enough, and I got a wonderful date here with my very real and beautiful girlfriend. Go on, babe, say something to them. Oh. So, to end this video off, I have one final tip for you, dear viewer. One that is not directed at only you, but also one that I should probably follow as well. And that tip is, well, just to create. Whether you think your video will suck or you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of self-loathing and action, definitely not me. You will never know how that video will turn out if you don't try. I wouldn't be here making this video with my wonderful and beautiful girlfriend if I've never taken that first step oh so long ago. So from one creator to another, whether it's now or in the future, just create. And most importantly, have fun doing it. Thanks for watching. And thank you for giving me money! Seriously though, thank you all to these people that are flying over my very real girlfriend's face. And also thank you for watching. I've gotten a few requests to remake this video from 2 years ago. I think it's 2 years now, 3 years. Well, it's more than 2 years, I know that. But yeah, I got a few requests to remake it, and I thought, hey, things changed and times have changed, so thought I'd do it. So here we are. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of this world because quite frankly, these doll worlds are they're always creepy because it's like they're staring at me and they could become real. Like they're just gonna snap and then, you know, jump scare me or something. All right, I'm gonna go. Bye. Come on, babe. Let's go, okay?